Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're a new subscriber, I appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate it. On this channel we're doing all kinds of vintage retro computer stuff, electronic stuff, tutorials. So if you're into that kind of thing, you want to learn about Windows and Linux, this is a channel for you. So today I'm going to go over Windows 10. As we probably all know by now, it's ending support on October 14th. So what can you do? Is that computer really a piece of crap like Bill Gates says it is? Stay tuned, let's find out.
Welcome.
And if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. It'll help me build it up. I can do more videos like this. And I also have a Frankie Fix channel for you DIYers who like to fix things around the house. Snowblower engines, automobile, lawnmowers, all kinds of stuff. So I hope to see you there as well. So let's talk about this Windows 10 here. Now I have a virtual machine here with Windows 10 on it. And what's the first thing you can do to find out if your computer is actually ready for Windows 11? And I know and I understand a lot of people may not even want Windows 11. So I understand the frustration that everybody's having over this whole Windows 10 thing because they are ending support on October 14th. So if you go to your search here at the bottom left and you type in PC health check, now if you tried your search and you couldn't come up with the PC health check, a web page will come up, and if you go down it'll say how to use PC health check, Microsoft support, and you'll see an option here. If you don't have it installed, you can install it by clicking here. So I just did that, and you can see over here I have the Windows PC health check setup MSI. I'm going to open it. So it's going to say introducing Windows 11. Let's check and see if this meets the requirements. Now I know mine does because this is actually just a virtual machine under a new PC that I had just built, but we'll just do it anyway. See, it's just going to tell me that it meets the requirements. Now if yours doesn't, you're going to have several different things that may not pass. It could be the TPM. It's going to tell you your processor isn't supported. So let's talk about that for a second. What is TPM? Well, it's Trusted Program Module. And basically, in a nutshell, to make it simple here for you, because this channel is for beginners, it's basically a chip that would be on your motherboard. And when you set up a password, for instance, let's say, it encrypts the password and it will store it on that chip, which is very difficult to get into, basically. It's more secure, so it's more difficult to get in and get into those passwords. So that's a feature that Windows 11 is going to be utilizing. There's also other things. It's not necessarily that your processor is too slow. I think that's what frustrates a lot of people is they know their processor is good. They're running Windows for years and it runs great. Windows 10 runs great. So the other issue is the SSC 4.2. And it's an instruction set. If you could think of it, when they make the processors at the plant, they inject instructions in it, basically. And this instruction Windows needs, and there's also a lot of software programs that exist now but are coming up that are going to be utilizing this SSC 4.2. Its purpose was it was introduced to improve performance for specific operations such as string comparisons, and it was originally released by Intel in 2008 and then by AMD in 2011. So it is important because a lot of software today uses it. For example, modern applications and operating systems like Windows 11 and games like Counter-Strike 2 use the SSC 4.2 for enhanced performance and security features. So how do we know if we have that? Well, you can look in your system BIOS, and some BIOSes will show you somewhere in here. I know the newer BIOSes will show you on one of the screens where there'll be a line that says instruction set, and you'll see them there. There's also another option that we can do. We can download a program, And the program we're looking for is called CPU-Z. So I'm just going to go back into my virtual machine, which is Windows 10 here. And if I go to my browser, download CPU-Z, and you're going to come up with a CPU-Z logo here, and you go to download, and it's going to bring you to this website. And I'm just going to pick Setup English. Download now. You can see up here it's downloading. I'm going to open it. Just to give you an example of what to look for in these instruction sets. We can run it. And again, this isn't going to show what I'm missing because I'm not missing anything because this is a newer computer. Alright, so now we're loaded up here, and you can see it's going to show you your processor name. But what's important here, it's going to show you these instructions here. These are all the instruction sets that this processor supports. And you can see my current one has SSC, and it supports 1, 2, 3, 4.1, 4.2, and 4A. So that's just to give you an idea. Now this is a handy utility. You can look at your chipsets, your memory here, and all kinds of things. But basically, I just wanted to point out what that instruction set is. So it is the SSC 4.2. Now, there could be cases where you have the TPM, you just don't have it enabled. So I just want to show you in here. This is a system BIOS here, and you would get to it using your delete key or escape. It really depends on your type of computer. Typically it's delete key or escape are probably the most common, but it could be F1. And if you look under your BIOS, typically under security, you're going to see an option here, and sometimes it's not called TPM. You can see here it's just called trusted computing. And you see how that's disabled? Well, that would cause that issue too. Now it's not going to tell you it's disabled. So you would have to just go in and you would enable it. So that's just an example of a BIOS and what to look for in your BIOS, because there could be people who have TPM. They don't know what it is, and it's just not enabled in their BIOS. So that would be a simple fix for that. There also are other cases where you can actually upgrade your TPM, and I'll probably do a video on that in the future. I have a HP Elite Desk. It's a little mini PC, and that had a TPM, an older TPM, and I was actually able to go in there up to HP's website, and I downloaded a new TPM, and I installed it, and it did like a firmware update on it. So that's also an option you can look at. Now, another thing you can do if you absolutely know that your computer is not going to support Windows 11 is you can absolutely keep your computer. You know, I have several machines that have Windows 10 on them. Would I recommend keeping the Ethernet cable or Wi-Fi in after the 14th? Maybe not, but that doesn't mean that the system is useless. You could use it for, if you look at my Batacera video, you could use it for something like that. You can install Linux on it. I'm going to have several videos doing Linux server stuff, Linux client, desktop stuff. So maybe I'll do a video with us installing some Linux on a machine. So that's an alternative there. The other alternative is the Windows 10 ESU program, which I know a lot of people are upset about because I think in Europe they actually are giving these updates for free. And it's at least for a year. But as far as the rest of us, we can join the ESU, which is the Extended Security Update Program for Windows 10. And if you type that in your Google, Windows 10 Consumer Extended Security Update, you'll come up with a page here. And it basically says you can enroll it. Now you're going to see the enrollment option under your Windows Update. If I go in here, if I type Windows Update and I go check for updates, of course this is Windows 11, but if it was Windows 10, you would have obviously the check for updates option here, and I would definitely do that before the 14th. Make sure you're fully up to date. And I would also recommend going and downloading the ISO image before they pull that off of the website. Put it on a hard drive, put it on a USB stick. That way you can still install it and run repairs from it. Because I'm pretty certain they're going to be removing that after the 14th. So you won't be able to even download Windows 10. But you want to make sure you get the latest updates. But there is going to be an option under your Windows, and I'll go see if we can go into Windows 10 here. And I'll just type Windows Update here. And it's probably telling you this PC doesn't currently meet the system requirements. And then there should be options here. An enroll option. I know they were rolling this out at different intervals, but by now we're so close to that ending date that they have to show it here. So when it says enroll, basically you have these options. Your devices need to be running Windows 10 22H2, which is the version number. Home, Professional, Pro Education, or Workstations Edition. They have to have the latest update of Windows installed, so make sure you have it all up to date. You can use a Microsoft account to sign in, and it must be an administrator account. And basically, there's a couple options you have. It says there's no additional cost if you're syncing your PC settings. Now, I know a lot of people are uncomfortable with this option because basically you have to have the Microsoft account and it's going to sync your PC settings to the OneDrive. Now what happens more often than not, if you have too much data, you only get so much. I don't know, I think it's 5 gigabytes or so. You only get so much of space on their cloud server, and then after that, if you go over it, they're going to charge you anyway for that extra space. If you have Microsoft reward points, for instance, if you're on Xbox gaming or whatever, and you've earned points for whatever reason, you can redeem 1,000 of those points towards your ESU. Or you can do a one-time purchase of $30, and that will extend your updates at least for another year. So those are your options there. Now, as I had previously mentioned, I would definitely go up and get the Windows 10 installation media and the ISO file so that way you have a backup, because I'm pretty sure, like I said, they're going to be taking that down from their site either on the 14th or shortly thereafter. So you want to go to Windows 10 ISO download in Google, and you'll come up to download the disk image here, and there is a tool that will let you and help you create installation media. So you'd need a USB stick with a fair amount of room on it. I know that Windows 10, I don't know, maybe it takes around 5 gigs. So get yourself maybe a 32 or 64 gig USB thumb drive, and you go ahead and download here, and you're going to get to the media creation tool. Now it's all done. I'm going to go in here and open it. And it's going to say getting a few things ready. And it will actually download the ISO for you and begin the process. So you can see here, we're going to accept it, of course. We have no choice but to accept the license agreement, or we can't use it. So and we're just going to let it do its thing here. Now there are other options that people are using to bypass the Windows 11 checks. If you look on, you'll see it all over on Reddit. There'll be ways to get by it. I think your average person who's computer illiterate isn't probably going to understand how to do most of these things. Some of them can get a little bit technical. I don't think you have to worry that much. You do have Windows Defender, Now, they said nothing about not providing updates for that. That if you go under virus and threat protection here, you do have Windows Defender, and you can also install third-party antivirus like AVG. And like I said, make sure that you, before the 14th, you're fully updated to make sure you have the latest update. And what you can do is, I do have a video on cloning. Once you get it all updated and you clean it up and you have everything the way you want it, you can always use this Hasleo software. And I do have a video on that listed in my videos. It was one of the first ones I did. And that will show you how to clone your hard drive. So if you have any issue after that, you can always go back to that copy that you made just before the 14th. And you would be back up and running. Maybe, by chance, Microsoft will change their mind on the 14th. Who knows? You don't know what they're going to do. They might just be testing the waters to see how many people are going to upgrade to Windows 11. And if they still have a large percentage of people who haven't, they might change the policy. You never know. They can do anything at any time. But don't ever trust any email that says, you didn't pay this. You owe the IRS money. Click here or you're going to be, we're going to take your house away from you. If you download a lot of pirated stuff, I would definitely be concerned about it. But those are just some tips for you. I hope that you learned a lot from the video. I guess we'll see you next time, and I appreciate you watching. Again, like and subscribe if you like the channel, if you're looking for technical tips and stuff like that. And we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.